Hi, everybody. I want to talk today about how to figure out what team you're on in the Zoom simulation. So actually, it's very easy. I have just set this up. So if you go to Groups on Blackboard and you click on Groups, it's going to pop up with your team. Mine looks a little different because I'm a faculty member, but you'll see your group, which may be Team 1, will be listed here. And then when you click on your team, you'll be able to see your team members. And in here, you can exchange files, Excel files, Word documents. You can form a group discussion board, and you can send emails to your team members. Now, it's important that you use the Blackboard Groups area, especially if you have a team member that does not participate. So that way, if you want to highlight to me at the end of the course that this student did not participate, I can go ahead and check emails that have been sent, look at the group discussion board, see files that have been exchanged, and determine whether or not this student actually did participate. This is a rare case where a student may not participate, but it could happen. So once you figure out, when you click on groups, once you find out what team you're in, you can then click on the simulation. So when you're in the simulation, okay, so here we're in the simulation, and you've already registered and started working on the practice rounds. So when you sign in as a student, you may recognize that you have play solo practice, and this is half the assignment. See, the assignment is 40 points, so 50% of the assignment is solo work. And this is to make sure everyone is prepared to compete in the team competition. Now, in the solo practice, you must complete 6 practice rounds against computer players. And this was discussed fully in the introductory or getting started video for this course. So now, when you're ready for the team competition, you already discovered what team you're on from the groups menu path on Blackboard. Now you click on select your professor. So find your professor, it's alphabetical, here I am. And then spring 2021 is the course. And this is outlined in the announcements as well. And it makes sense, right? Our course is taking place in spring 2021. I'm trying to make it as straightforward as possible, but yet I'll still have a few students who will click on a different game. I don't know why, but okay. So hit submit. And now you'll get this play team competition. Now, once you select me as a professor, I'll be able to see all of your solo practice work. So don't worry about submitting anything to me when you finish the solo practice. I'm going to get a record of when you complete the solo practice. And even if you reset and try the solo practice again, it keeps a record of every time you play the solo practice. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to email me anything or take a screenshot. I will see, as long as you selected me as your professor in spring 2021, I will see your work in the solo practice. Now let's go to the play team competition. You click on here, and all the teams will be listed. Now they're listed in a funny way where it's only sorted by the first numerical. So you have team 1, 10, 11, 12, then you have team 2. So if you're in team 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, it's going to be towards the bottom of the list. Well, so maybe you're in team 28. So you scroll down to team 28, or maybe you're in team 41. So you scroll down the list, and you click on team 41 to join. Don't create a new company. I've created all of the teams, so you don't have to create anything. You just have to go down this list, and then you'll see team 41. This is my team. And then you click on play team competition again. And now you'll have your team. So don't change your team name. Leave that team 41 so they're going to always follow you. And then as you sign up, you can just go in order of who signs up. So the person who signs up first can be the president. And then you put your email address here. Then the second person can be the vice president. Now these roles are fictional. It doesn't mean if you sign up to be the VP of marketing, or maybe the 5th person who signs up in your VP of finance, it doesn't really matter. These are role-playing, fictional roles. It doesn't mean you only work on finance or you only work on marketing. You're a team, and everybody works together to complete the simulation. Now, if somebody on the team, you should also create a mission statement here, and then team cooperation. So you can also document here if there's a team member that doesn't check in, doesn't cooperate, does nothing, you can document it here and it gets backed up every round. So that way at the end of the semester, if you make a complaint like, hey, this team member did no work, please take the points away from them, I can go back and investigate and prove that the team member actually did no work. So this is to your advantage. Okay, so you come into the team area here. So once you're done with the company page, you now have the team competition area, and it's sales, marketing, production, and finance in the first round, just like the practice game. So when you go in, you complete this. The only thing different is we have these reflective observations, which are going to ask you questions that you're going to need to complete each round. So it's going to ask you questions about what you're doing, and it wants you to create a learning artifact to document your thought process and how you, in this case, you forecasted and what factors are going to influence your calculation of your forecast and how you built your car, what's your strategy for the, building the car. So this gets asked in each of the categories. And then when you go into marketing, it's going to ask you, don't worry about these targets here, but you probably only need to change them if when you're talking about, say I want to sell this car to 50 plus people who make over 50,000. When I talk about my overall demographic in the reflective observations, I need to, talk about that this is the group I'm selling it to. When you change these variables up here, it really has no effect on the actual amount of cars you sold. That's only influenced by how you built your car and the amount of money you spend on marketing. So you can have you're going to write an advertising slogan for your company. Our cars are great and they don't break down. That could be a slogan. You can talk about your demographics, who you're going to sell your cars to and who you're targeting in your advertisements, and then your overall advertising strategy. Now, once you make a slogan, it's going to stick. You don't have to recreate it every round. So some of these things will stick and you don't have to keep reinventing them. So you go through the marketing page, then you go into production, and it's going to ask you about your capacity utilization and how you calculate capacity utilization and to think about it, because it's very important for doing well in the game to have a high capacity utilization. And finally, the finance page as a team, you're going to go in and complete the finance page, and there's a reflective observation down here, and they have to be completed every round. So how you work as a team is up to you. You can all work together. Maybe you open up a Zoom conference window. It's a separate program, not related to this program, but open up a conference meeting online, a video chat meeting, and you can talk to each other while you're filling out the simulation. Now, one person can be working on the sales page while another person is simultaneously working on the marketing page. So what happens though, when you hit submit, this updates all your inputs. So if somebody has been working if two people are working on the sales page at the same time, and then someone clicks submit at the bottom, it'll overwrite what the other person is working. So it only will keep what the last person entered and the last person who hit submit. So you can't two people can't work at the same page at the same time on two different computers. So it's really one page per person, and you need to start out with sales, complete that to kind of figure out your marketing, then your production, then your finance. So there's no point in working in production until sales is done. So maybe you make a schedule. This person is going to work on sales and you need to be done by Tuesday. I will work on marketing. I need to be done by Wednesday. So however your team, if they all want to work together at once, if you want to work separately, you need to figure out how that works best for you. Okay, so there you have it. I've described to you. Let's just go over to the Blackboard for a second. And I want to talk about the assignment. Okay, so here in Blackboard, so this is groups again, where you find your group and you sign up on the simulation. And now if we talk about the simulation in announcements, let's just go back to announcements here. So in the simulation, it's 40 points. 20 points is the solo practice. So this makes sure that everybody does something. So this solo practice, half the assignment. So it's sort of half teamwork, half solo work. And I want to make sure, because I've had a lot of students who tried to not contribute at all on the simulation project. So this is to make sure that everybody completes the solo practice rounds. And they're due, keep in mind that those solo practice rounds are due by February 15th. And you have to get a cumulative score of above 1,500 for those practice rounds to count. So it's either you earn the 20 points or you don't. And if you don't get up to 1,500 the first try, you can reset and try the simulation again, the solo practice, to try to get to 1,500. Most people get to 1,500 within the first 3 rounds, and you have 6 rounds to do that. So it's a very low bar. For the team competition, which is part 2, that's another 20 points, and you're going to work in a group of 5, and this is going to start on February 15th, and you need to complete the first round and have it submitted by February 22nd. And I can't process the round until everybody's submitted it, so you won't see the results until February 23rd, which I'll produce a video to review the results. Now, at the end of the 6th round, or year 6, or Y6, you want to have cumulative score of 2,200 points to get the full 20 points for part 2. So by the end, that means, each round you want to start making at least, 300-400 points per round. You have 6 rounds. So you want to get up to and over 2,200 points, which every semester I have at least 90% of the class that's able to achieve that. Okay, so that's the assignment and the instructions on how to find out what your team number is and how to select your team in the Zoom simulation. You could start working on round 1 as a team today if you want and submit that early, but it won't be processed because I have to wait till everybody's done because what your decisions you make is going to affect other results on other teams. So it's a real live competitive market. It's sort of like the Fortnite of business where your actions are going to affect other people's actions and determine who's the winner of each round. So best of luck on the simulation, and I will talk to you soon.